Hello, friends. I hope you are having a great day. I have guests coming this weekend, and since Easter is around the corner, I think it will be fun to do an Easter brunch buffet. Here's the menu.
For the buffet, I'm serving a blueberry yogurt parfait, a spinach and red bell pepper quiche with a crisp hash brown potato crust, plus bagels, and a full smoked salmon platter. For a sweet finish, I'm serving colorful fruity pebbles bars. Beverages include coffee, orange juice, and champagne. This entire buffet can be prepared well ahead of time. This means you and I can relax and be guests at our own brunch party. I'm making and baking the hash brown quiche 2 days ahead of our party. I will link the recipe I'm loosely following in the description box below. My version begins with a diced red bell pepper that I will toss with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Then I will roast the pepper in a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 20 minutes. While the bell pepper is roasting, I can put baby spinach leaves in the microwave oven for 60 seconds or just until they wilt. Then I will squeeze the leaves in a kitchen towel to remove as much moisture as possible. Then we can roughly chop the leaves and set them aside. For the gluten-free hash brown potato crust, cut bacon into crosswise strips or lardons. Sauté the bacon in a 10-inch diameter cast iron skillet until the bacon renders its fat. Meanwhile, thaw out 4 cups of previously frozen shredded hash brown potatoes. When the bacon has rendered its fat, add the hash brown potatoes and press them against the bottom and 1 inch up the sides of the skillet to form a crust. Transfer the crust to a 375-degree Fahrenheit oven and bake for 30 minutes or just until lightly golden. For the quiche filling, I'm whisking together eggs, half and half, shredded Swiss cheese, and a sprinkling of both salt and pepper.
I also need to whisk in about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard and the scallion. It's about a 1/4 cup here. And as soon as my hash brown crust is ready, we will assemble the quiche and bake it off. Ooh, this crust looks beautiful and it smells beautiful. So you can see it's turning crisp around the edge. I can scatter on the spinach and the roasted red bell pepper. And again, this bell pepper is going to give this quiche a beautiful pop of color. Spread this out a little better. I have to remember that the handle on this cast iron pan is ripping hot. It would be just like me to grab that hot handle. And then this goes into the still 375-degree Fahrenheit oven until the quiche puffs and is done. That will take about 20 minutes. Oh my. This looks very beautiful. This is our spinach and roasted red bell pepper quiche with a hash brown and bacon crust. Again, it smells just incredible. Today is Thursday. My brunch is on Saturday. So I am going to allow this quiche to cool to room temperature, and then I will cover it with aluminum foil and pop it in the refrigerator. And then shortly before serving time, I will pop it into a warm oven just to keep the quiche through. And since this is a stress-free brunch, I'm going to finish today, and then tomorrow we will continue with the other recipes. Pleasant dreams, friends, and I will see you in the morning. Good morning. Our brunch is tomorrow. We've already made our quiche. So today we are going to start by making the dessert. And you're going to need to clutch your pearls for this one. We are making Fruity Pebbles bars. The Fruity Pebbles in question. It's a breakfast cereal, it's puffed rice that's been colored, and it's very, very pretty for Easter. I made this one Easter and everyone went nuts over it. I need to grease my 8-inch square baking dish. And then I need to melt 4 tablespoons, 1, 2, 3, 4, of butter in a large microwave-safe bowl. In you go. And I'm going to microwave the butter just until it melts. You could use a saucepan to melt the butter and the marshmallows, but I can tell you from experience, a saucepan on the stovetop will make a big mess. It's much cleaner and easier to do the marshmallows and the butter in the microwave. Then I need to measure out and reserve 2 cups of mini marshmallows. And I forgot to tell you that these marshmallows came from a 10.5 ounce bag. In the United States, that's a standard size bag for mini marshmallows. I've added the marshmallows to my butter, and now I'm going to pop this back into the microwave for about 90 seconds until the marshmallows melt. And while the marshmallows are melting, I'm going to measure out 6 cups of the Fruity Pebbles. You don't even want to know what the ingredients are in Fruity Pebbles, but I can tell you they are gluten-free, and these Fruity Pebbles bars are therefore gluten-free. And we do have vitamin B3 and zinc and vitamin A. This is essentially health food. I hope you know I'm kidding, but these treats are super delicious. And my marshmallows are mostly melted, so now I'm going to lightly spray my spatula and then stir the marshmallows until they completely melt. We're all combined here. So now we can add the Fruity Pebbles. And finally, we can fold in the reserved 2 cups of mini marshmallows. In they go to the pan. Then I'm going to spray my hand, top and bottom, and press the Fruity Pebbles mixture firmly into the pan. And there, our dessert is made. I just have to let this cool to room temperature so the marshmallows firm up. And then I will cover this overnight. I will keep it out at room temperature. And then tomorrow we will cut this into bars and arrange them, hopefully attractively, on a cake stand. Going to clean up here, and then we can prep the ingredients for the smoked salmon platter. Before I prep my vegetables, I really need to sharpen this knife. Give this a good rinse. Dry. So on my smoked salmon platter, I'm going to have little bagels, probably crackers too, whipped cream cheese mixed with fresh chives, and radishes, cucumber, red onion, plus capers. I did a smoked salmon platter last year at Easter time, and that was a big hit. And I'm just putting the cucumber into one of my food storage containers here. I love stress-free brunches where you can prepare everything ahead of time, and then when guests arrive, you're just totally relaxed. You're a guest at your own party. Now I'm going to cut this onion into half moons. Now tomorrow we will assemble the smoked salmon platter. It'll be a very easy job. And finally, I want to slice some radishes very thinly, so I'm going to use my mandolin. And I need to buy a new mandolin. I don't really like this one. I mean, I've had it for years. It works, but I think there are probably better mandolins out there. If you have a mandolin that you love, please drop me a note in the comments below. Be sure to tell me the brand name. And the radishes can go in another food storage container. And I will store my radishes and onions and cucumber in the refrigerator overnight. And as I said earlier, we will assemble the board tomorrow. I also have capers and cream cheese. Now tomorrow, I will reheat the quiche, and I will brew some coffee and tea to set up a coffee and tea service. And we will put together some little blueberry and Greek yogurt and granola parfaits and arrange the bagel and smoked salmon platters, and then we're good to go. So now I'm going to clean this up, and then I think we should go set the table. And before we can do the table, I need to buy some flowers for the centerpiece.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
So I have decided that we should think pink for this Easter arrangement. So I have a lot of pink and a little yellow and some green. And I'm going to make the arrangement in this, I think it's a 19th century soup tureen. It's actually starting to feel like spring outside. We had a really brutal winter, so it feels great to have a bit of warmth. Also feels great to have that snow all melted. Need some wire. Actually, I have some little staples here that we can use. So I'm trying to make a frame around my tureen with this greenery. Well, I think this makes a very attractive little Easter arrangement. And now, last year, when I did an Easter arrangement, I put it on a wooden tray, and then I threw some Easter grass down and some little typical Easter candies. And we're going to do the same thing this year. So let's bring this into the dining room. I decided that the Easter grass I bought this year just didn't look right. So change of plan. I'm going to line my tray with burlap. And then I'm going to try some boxwood clippings from my garden on top of the burlap. And we will see how that works out. Now, fortunately, this boxwood will stay fresh and green for a good week. Well, to my eyes, this looks rather beautiful, and it's all natural, which is not a word I can use to describe the decorations. We're going to use peeps, which are little marshmallow bunnies and chicks. And for the final touch, I have a chocolate bunny for everyone. Now, people can eat these at table or they can bring them home. I'm not sure if I want to set it on the plate or maybe we should put them right here. I've decided that these look better without their little red bows. There's already enough color going on, I think, at this tablescape. Well, I think our tablescape looks pretty terrific. It definitely looks suitable for an Easter brunch. I'm going to go practice piano now, and then tomorrow we will finish setting up the brunch, and I hope you will join me. Good morning, everyone. It is early Easter brunch day. It's about 10:14-ish right now, and my guests are expected around 11:30. And let's see. What we need to do this morning is warm the quiche in the oven, make a blueberry parfait, slice bagels and put them on a platter, assemble a smoked salmon board, arrange the fruity pebble bars on a stand, assemble a coffee station, and assemble a mimosa station. This is all easy work. So I wanted to do a mixed berry parfait, but the strawberries and raspberries at my local market did not look terribly appetizing, but the blueberries looked great, so that's what we're using. And I'm going to make the parfait in this glass bowl over here. So I start with Greek yogurt, just a layer. Then I need a layer of blueberries. Then I need a layer of granola. And this is the granola that we bought at Tierra Farm. I usually make my own granola, but this time I gave myself grace and bought already made granola. If you'd like to see my own recipe for granola, I can link that in the description below. We've made granola many times on this channel. Since this is a brunch buffet, I'm going to arrange these dessert goblets around my bowl of parfait, and then guests can serve themselves. Now I need to pop the quiche into the oven. I've preheated the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And if the quiche is heated all the way through before my guests arrive, I will just lower the oven temperature to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Better move these into the dining room. Okay, next on the list, I need to slice bagels. And I have some beautiful, freshly made bagels from a local bakery right here. So I have an everything bagel, sesame seed, and poppy seed. And I do want to slice these in half. Then we can arrange the bagels on a board. And I've cleaned my cutting board. So now, before I assemble the smoked platter board, I want to cut up my fruity pebbles bars. Let's see if these will unmold. Yes! Yay! Oh, look at that. Stunningly beautiful, in my opinion. I'm going to cut these into like small rectangles. Oh, should I do rectangles or squares? I think we can use this cake stand. Wow. Citrusy, slightly gooey, very marshmallowy, very pretty. These are just wonderful. And then it's on to assembling the smoked salmon platter. So here are all of my goods for this smoked salmon board. And I do want to chop some chives because I want to add them to the whipped cream cheese. And I need a spoon and a knife for the whipped cream cheese. Now the knife is so that when guests scoop up the cream cheese, they can scrape it off onto their plate. And I can include some tongs on this platter, and our platter is ready to go. And my quiche is nice and hot, so I've just lowered the oven temperature to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, just to keep the quiche warm. And for the mimosa station, I have OJ, orange juice. And I have my urn to hold the champagne. Need some ice. And I have my champagne in the refrigerator. In you go. Mimosa station is complete. Now I need to do the coffee station. And for the coffee station, I need coffee. This is the really good breakfast blend that I buy from Tierra Farm. And then I need some half and half. And I have sugar cubes over here and tongs for the sugar cubes. And my guests are due in just a moment, so I'm going to light a fire and then arrange our brunch on the sideboard.
I can tell you right now that my guests and I devoured everything you see on this sideboard. I hope you will try a similar make-ahead menu someday.
Happy Easter. Well, this brunch lasted a full 2 hours. All of my guests have departed, and let me tell you, we all had a great time. And everybody loved the blueberry parfait and the hash brown quiche with spinach, and the bagels and the salmon platter. And believe it or not, every single guest had one of the Fruity Pebbles bars, and they said they loved them. Of course, you know that I love the Fruity Pebbles bars. And this was an entirely stress-free brunch because I did almost all of the work well ahead of time. So I hope you feel inspired to host such a brunch someday. And until the next time, please treat yourself very, very well, and I can't wait to see you again. I have to go wash dishes now. Bye, friends.